Thursday, and we got Brian.
Yay!
So, I could put your little thing down here too, because I've got that work. Huh.
Yay!
And just really is running really remarkably slow. Like I'm remarking about how slow it is. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna work today. Him and me and him and stuff. We got Brian on the left over here. Are you joining with two different computers? Is that what you're doing?
No, it's one computer. I'm just in a different room right now.
Well, no. I mean, because I've got you on two different screens.
I'm
Is it
sharing my
sharing the
screen
screen?
and my camera. If you want, I could turn the camera off.
No. But I wonder if I shared my screen, what would happen? Like, would it decide that we could put all four together? I'm running faster. That's even weirder.
Well, that's because you're down in the corner there.
Look at that. Wow.
Ooh, fancy.
Fancy. Yes. We can move us to the top. Oh, yeah. Look. This works. And it's running much faster.
We're
Weird.
doing a thing.
Yeah, now I'm no longer running at weird frame rate that I was running before. Like I'm actually about what you were saying, about 24 frames, give or take. Okay, well, what we're going to do today is Brian and I are going to work, and you're going to watch, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.
And you have no way of stopping us.
Right? Exactly. Oh, I could change my primary color to the color of my uniforms, because I know what that color is now. Okay, so did I tell you the story about the uniforms?
I know you had to make pockets.
I did have to make pockets. See the little pockets now? They're kind of cool. You
Yes.
see on there
I
on
was
them.
here last week when you were making the pockets.
Yep. Thanks. They have pockets. Yeah, I got the pockets now. And the flares on the wrists, which I added because I was drawing the flares in manually, which wasn't a problem. Hey, look. Brent's joining us from actual Twitch. Twitchland.
Ooh.
It's a secret location where Brent's joining us. But I was manually drawing the flares, and then I went back and looked at the pictures, and like all of the pictures, they're like different sizes, and they're moved up and down her arm and everything. I'm like, okay, you're working from home today. Is it snowing over there, Brent? In
I know it snowed. I
Kansas?
haven't checked. I haven't looked outside to see what it's doing.
Well, it's it's -6 degrees Fahrenheit,
Yeah,
so it's pretty. Yeah, it's no. So he's out in Topeka, so it's
it
quite
is
away.
3 according to this. So
Yes, -17 Celsius for those of you who are not not American, which we do have a couple of internationals who watch us. Which, because it's usually Brent and Ghost Hand and Donald, and those are my three viewers, we can pretty much safely say that 1/3 of my viewership is international because Ghost Hand's in Brazil. So it's
there
like
you go.
there's three of them, and we that's what we do. It's like, yay. Well, this is cool that we can both share our screen and it just puts us in little quadrants. Kind of wish they'd allow us to make these bigger and ours smaller so our pictures aren't as big, but that's okay. It still works and it's still pretty cool. So that's pretty exciting. Should we put our pictures on the bottom, you think? And then put our work on top? What do we think?
Sure.
We can flip them around and see what happens. Yeah, it's probably better. There we go. Yeah, right. This looks better.
It does.
It does look better. And then you just watch the tops. So, okay, let's see here. So, I was going to tell the story of the blue of the uniform because I have, and I'm actually going to pull up this picture here in a second because it's a cool picture and it's interesting and stuff. There's a history behind all this. You can start drawing at any time. You do not have to actually hang out while I do
Well,
this.
I was looking up references
That's
so I
also
can start
acceptable.
drawing.
Very acceptable. And, oh boy, that went really slow there. All of a sudden, trying to draw something up. Didn't. Okay. I'll bring this up. It will take an eternity to come up. Okay. Here we go. So you see this wonderful stool. This is at my sister's house. So this was my great grandmother's vanity stool. It had it had been with my great grandmother since the late 1800s. My sister had it, and during one of her moves, it got crushed underneath something very heavy. Whatever it was, the movers crushed it utterly. It was kindling. And so my sister was devastated, and my dad said, "Hey, I can fix that." And she's like, "No, you can't. It's just a bunch of wood. I mean, there's nothing." He's like, "No, no, no. We can put it back together again." So he took it and he put it back together, and he did a wonderful job. And when he did, the cushion on it, of course, was from the 1800s and had fallen apart, as cushions do. So he got a new cushion and then wrapped it in this ultra suede, which is uh, a type of. It was in the 70s and the 80s. They were really into this super suede. It's suede, but it's super suede, so it's called ultra suede. When I saw it, though, it clicked something in me because I'm like, that is the perfect shade of blue. If you were to ask me what my favorite color is by shade, it's this color right here.
So
Exactly.
cobalt blue.
Sort of cobalt-ish, yeah, give or take, blue. Um, and I mean, exactly the shade. And what my sister and I were talking about was dad probably pulled this bolt from my grandmother's stores. My grandmother had a fabric shop when I was growing up. And so there was a lot of ultra suede, and I'll bet you anything that this bolt of suede was something that I had access to as a child. And it probably didn't sell. It'd probably been sitting in the back of my grandmother's shop for decades. And then my dad, when my grandmother shut the shop down, my dad took it and put it in storage. And then later, when it came time to do this thing, he just pulled that bolt out and wrapped the cushion in it. And I saw it, and the little heart flutter thing when you see something that's just absolutely perfect. And right, exactly. It's just the right shade of blue. But I remember as a kid imagining an airport terminal painted in this color as being my happy place, because if you're at an airport terminal, you're going somewhere, you're heading out somewhere cool, and there's big planes. And these are all important things to me. So this is the perfect shade of blue in my opinion. Absolutely perfect shade of blue. So I went and I have an app on my phone. Good morning, Donald. I have an app on my phone that allows me to snag the color on it. So I'm going to go find it real quick. Because it's exactly, the app told me what color it was and gave me the precise color shade for it. I'll look right back here. It's in screenshots. It's not in this screenshots though. There's like 700 different directories here.
That's a lot of directories.
I know, right? It's a lot of directories. I could ever find anything. You remember Valerie Bertinelli?
Not offhand.
I mean, as in the actress.
Not offhand.
You're like, that didn't help. Just was finding out about her being in a series with Betty White. Valerie Bertinelli was like a child actress. She was on the soap operas in the 70s. And then during the 80s, she joined a couple of sitcoms, and One Day at a Time was one. And stuff like that. Yep, Donald's. Yeah, that's exactly it. She was in Hot in Cleveland, which was with Betty White. And I had forgotten about that until Brent posted like outtakes and stuff like that from Hot in Cleveland. And I was looking at that going, is that Valerie Bertinelli? And so I was like, wait a minute. I didn't know she was in something recently. And she's still adorable. At 60, she still looks like she's like, 18 or 19. She's got one of those kind of timeless faces. There we go. So, anyway, I had this, continuing my story. This gave me the exact HSV and the hex number. Hey, David, good to see you, man. Well, now David's like tilted the ratio. So,
oh no!
Right now we're all. Actually haven't seen. There we go. Now I've changed the color. All of my stuff is now in this color blue. So 0338A5. Yeah, I had a crush on her too. I was noticing something looking at her 80s pictures when, back when she was like a star in the 80s. I noticed how much she looks like Haley Steinfeld. I'm just saying. Valerie Bertinelli looks like, Haley Steinfeld looks like a younger Valerie Bertinelli, or looks like Valerie Bertinelli from the 80s. I don't know how to, whichever way we look at that. But tell me I'm not wrong. Go look at pictures. You don't need to look at pictures. You're drawing.
I don't know who any of these people are, so I'm just going to nod my head and say yes.
Okay. You haven't watched Hawkeye?
No, not the new...
Have you seen Bumblebee?
No.
Oh, see, this is why we can't take you places, Brian.
How dare I isolate myself from movies?
Right? Man. Oh, man. Okay, so, yeah. So anyway, the long and the short of that story is I picked the specific shade of blue, and now everything should be the specific shade of blue. I need to go back through and like fix all of my outer stuff too to be that shade of blue. But I made the uniforms that shade of blue too. So, okay. So yesterday we were working on designing up the Marine uniforms, and I haven't done the arms on them yet. So we're going to do that now. And
That's part of my problem. You need to go away. Okay.
we were discussing the fact that we still needed to do the arms on the service uniform for the males. Just get two blue. We could start humming a tune.
Do
So
do 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 do.
uh-huh. These are the days when we start to worry about you. I'm just saying.
Oh, come on. You cannot tell me you don't recognize that tune.
No, I totally recognize that tune. Bridge on the River Kwai.
I was thinking Spaceballs myself because that's what the
Dink dink. Dink
yeah.
dink 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 dink.
Dink.
What was I doing here? Why do I have two of these? They look the same. Okay. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. Okay, what I was saying yesterday on the show was the problem with these maps often is that they need to be dealt with in, like, we have to kind of be careful with where the male maps don't have all of my cool guides that the female maps do. And I went out looking for it at the end of the show yesterday and couldn't find anything to help me out. The female maps will tell me, somebody had worked really hard on them, tell me which part of this part of the map comes out one side and comes in the other. Here it kind of looks obvious, but when you get down into here, it isn't so obvious as to where maps end and where they start. So, surrounded by assholes. Yes. So I'm going to start by bring in the female limbs. So this is the female maps somebody had made, and you can see that they've made them really nice and clear as to which section is which. And you can see exactly where they leave one side and come in the other, and where they seam together, where the seams are, especially things like the hands, which can get very complicated as to where they connect and come together. And so we can, these guys are unmarked completely, and so they don't help any. But what I can do is take this right here, because they will be the same generically they'll be the same, or basically they'll be the same. So all I really need to do is discern which arm this is, which I think is says the right arm. I think that's also the right arm. So we can just turn it around. And maybe we can get close, right? Maybe not that close, though. Like, is this close enough to work? I don't know. We don't have tunes. We should get tunes.
Tunes could be helpful.
There we go. Some tunes. All right. This is so that David can go, what? It's like elevator music again. David was commenting before that we need better tunes, which I don't disagree with. I just have to find tunes that are public domain and better tunes. So that we
Dance
don't end up getting,
Macabre.
right? We don't end up getting like pulled off of YouTube for violation of.
Oh, you'll still get that because someone will try to claim the music, even if it's been in public domain for like centuries.
Right. Somebody did that to me already once. They claimed that my public domain music that I'm using right now was theirs. That was pretty funny. I think they just naturally everything's on the assume that it's, that somebody has stolen the music and then they have to be backed off of it.
Well, yes and no. Part of it is you're guilty until proven innocent.
Yep.
On YouTube, and the other part is they just have bots on there that all they do is they've had everything claimed. They just throw claim, throw claim, throw claim. That's why I don't post on YouTube anymore because I got sick of it.
I could see that. Yeah, well, the guy that I use, Kevin McLeod, he intentionally makes music solely for the purpose of being used in stuff like this.
Yeah, I know. I used to use them
Until
in
the
fact,
bot nagged you all the time.
well, yeah, it was specifically Dance Macabre that
Oh
he
yeah.
put out for free that I had a lot of hits on from various bots all claiming that it was copyrighted to them. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yep. The thing that makes me mad is that the default is to trigger. So I mean, like they'll remove your show until you challenge the claim. So the default is to remove the show. So you're right. You're guilty until proven innocent. It's a much easier way to deal with things if you're always guilty until proven innocent. It's a whole lot easier than having to go the other way around, innocent until proven guilty. Oh. So Brent apparently has reread John Carter of Mars. That was kind of cool.
I haven't even read it once.
I can't help you then. And other than that, Control Shift I. Copy. Other than that one, I think the rest of them are almost the same. The same enough that I can probably guess where things go. And it's not perfect, but it is close enough that I can probably, get the basic idea. I'm looking for kind of guidance on where to go on this. Yeah, well, sort of.
Right. Say no more. Say no more.
Right? I'm kind of like, well, it's kind of close. Or maybe not. Oh. There it is, kind of getting roughly in the right area. It'll help me enough. So I realized something. I actually have a table at Wicked West Con.
What con?
Actually Wicked West Con. It's Todd Jones's convention.
I don't know this convention. Is it here in Colorado or?
Yeah, it's in Fort Collins.
Oh.
It's actually really close to you. So, but yeah, I actually have a table there, and I don't think I'm ready to table.
I know I'm not.
I'm kind of like, but this was one of those. I got a table at Wicked West Con in 2019, and then COVID happened, and they were like, "Well, what do you want to do with it?" I was like, just transfer it over."
We'll be out of this by 2022. Everything
Right.
will be fine.
Right. And so it's kind of like, well, now we're in 2022, and I'm like, I'm not ready to table. Which I will be. I'm just, this isn't to say I won't be ready to table, but at this point in time, I'm kind of like, arg. I didn't realize I have to be tabling so soon. I mean, April, it's April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So it's
That's soon.
That's still soon. That's too soon, really. It's okay. We'll get there. We'll be fine. But like, I don't have product to sell. I don't have anything. And I'm like,
yeah, I lost a couple of years of drawing because of COVID.
yeah. But I'm also, I know, not the only artist. Was that you? Oh, that was you. I'll let you do your thing. I'm like, what was that noise? Weird noise. So, yeah, you'll be missing Hexacon. It's kind of a bummer.
I was just informed I have to bow out for a few minutes to go catch breakfast, so.
If you wish to have breakfast, you must have it now.
Yes. So, I will catch you. How long are you going? Are you going till 11?
I go until 11. Do you want me to just turn off your... You could stay broadcasting, and I can just turn off your woozy watchies.
Yeah, turn that off, and then I'll be back here in a bit.
Like, do this, and then you can come back in a sec. And you can just continue watching me doing my thing, which works for me. And whenever he comes back, he'll turn his widget on over here and over here, and it's over here. I don't know where the heck it is. So, okay, let's take a look at this here, and let's just get to week. It looks like things are getting a little bit better down there. Oh, good. IndyK Tacticon Taste of Colorado. That's good. Of course, I don't table at IndyK, so not like that's a problem. I just, you won't be visiting my table because I won't have a table. I will someday table at NDK. Just today is not the day. All right. I'm going to duplicate this layer. And we're going to go into this duplicate layer here. I'm going to take you. I'm going to go and you. And actually you. Right? So D. Right? Because that'll help. And then you. So I need to know where this wrist is. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This becomes just counting around the edges here, the same number of doodly wops. Doodly wops is a technical term. For those of you who are wondering, skip 2 and go to red. Skip 2 and go to red. Right? And then we skip 2 more and go to blue. And you can see we're close. Skip 2 and then we go to blue, like so. I need to be able to put in the hand widgets on here. Now, we can do this one of two ways. We can do it the way we did the other way yesterday, where we just kept testing it over and over and uploading new versions of it over and over and over. But that gets old after a while. I don't want to do it anymore. So, okay, looking over here, you can see we've got kind of this bump right here. So we're going to do that. This is that same bump right here. So it's this guy, and this guy are these guys there, right? Then we skip 2 and we go bork like that. And then we skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and we go bork. And that's these two. And we skip 3. 1, 2, 3. We go bork. Right? Like that. And that gives, we're at the same spots here. And then we skip 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we skip 4 like that. I only really need out of this these guys, but you can see how they line up there and they line up here. I only need these guys because I need to put the coverings on the front of the hands. So we're going to need to do the same thing down here at the thumbs, but not majorly, because we need the thumb to be covered. And it looks like actually this guy here, well, let's go with this guy. It's unseemly. So our yellow line here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And is it this or is this one? It's the seventh. So there we go, like that. And that'll give us those seams. So this guy is just this guy all the way across. And this guy is this guy going all the way across as well. And we just have to be very careful. That puts it kind of at that. So this is one up from this, right? And if I look here, I feel like it should be this line, because this is that same line right here. So I'm going to double line that because I actually think that I may have made a mistake. Just looking at this guy here, I feel like this line goes to this little corner cut right there, which is aggravating. But okay, you know what? I'm over it. Are you over it? I'm over it. Are you over it? I'm over it. So we don't need to worry about anything else. The knuckles are kind of clear. The only thing we need to worry about is this, probably this guy right here. I feel like that guy is 1, 2, 3, the fourth. It's kind of questionable as to whether that's the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and then we'll come along here to here. Just make sure we're following the same path. We are. Okay, good. So that should be all we have to worry about at this point. Kind of keeping an eye here because this goes across the knuckles, sort of. The little cover on the fingers cover to the knuckles, so about here. And then they go around the thumb. So we need to know where the thumb is so that we can get that straightened out. We need to figure out how it goes under as well. So we need to find the purple seam. Comes out here and then connects over here as well. And where does it connect? If we look around this corner here, we get this guy, which I actually think is here. Maybe? Because like I said, I think these are off by 2, which makes this seam here over by 3. Yeah, that works. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2 on this corner. That works. And then yellow is here. Green green. And then purple, which is what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, purple. And that's who we're looking for. Because this guy connects to this guy, which gives us the exit that we're looking for. And should come out right here. I'm not sure that connected where it was supposed to connect. Let's see. Yeah. Because this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, which makes me wonder if that's not going to connect properly. So there's only one way to really figure this out, and that's to test it. So we'll have to get going on the testing thing. The good news is once I get one hand done, the other hand is identical, just flipped. So we'll finish that. I don't need to go through here on this hand and do the whole same thing we just did, because that's ridiculous. Okay, so we'll go to this new layer, and we will get the marine color here. We need to close that because we won't figure out what the heck we're doing. Okay, and this will be this. And we'll set for, let's not do this anymore. We did this last time and I couldn't see anything. It was all black on blue and I was like, Okay. So let's go to this layer here and we'll get black. We'll come in here and we'll take our technical pen, we'll raise it to 15 and come along, just cut along the side here. Because we know that these are connected out to the top. There we go. Now, as I recall from our other limbs from the previous characters, when we look at the female limbs, let's grab that real quick. We can see we have a logo, we have this curve, we have here, we have this line. So pretty much this is the shoulder seam right through here. I don't think it ends up all the way down here that way though. So the shoulder seam should be more like so. But I think this is the shoulder seam. And I will verify this by going down like so and going down like so. And then running this way, because I think that's our seam for the top part here. And let's take a look at that and just make double sure. We're going to have to load a couple of these anyway. Then I'm going to cover the knuckles to here. We're going to zoom in, make sure I'm purple to purple, which I'm not naturally. I'm going to go from here, across here to there, and come out and see if that connects properly. And we're going to go over the thumb like so. And then underneath here, I'm going to make a guess that this is our under part of the hand there and take a look and see what happens. Okay. So the other thing we're going to need to do is define the wrist, which actually isn't that hard because it should just be this line right here. And so we're going to take a look and see if that shoulder seam works the way it's supposed to work. Right? So we'll experiment with that in a moment. That'll be fun. So the ankle should be here. That shouldn't be hard at all. Hard part's this foot, which is really complicated. The bottom of the foot is like so. So we're just going to do this to kind of indicate the bottom of the foot. Don't have to worry too terrible much about everything. Coming along the outside here, the biggest problem is the gravity boots, which kind of do this. And it gets kind of complicated. Like so. And let's hope we did it sort of right. Let's see here. We're going to guess. Yeah, hopefully guess. Let's see whether this works. So, trial and error. That's the way we do these things. But this is the knee. So I know I've got kind of a line that can go straight down through here. That should be the front seam. I can tell that it's a knee because I've got kind of a conglomeration right through here of where the mesh kind of tenses up and gets intense. Anyway, we don't actually have to have me on here. We could do this and you can see better. There we go. So if you look here, we can see that the mesh is kind of tensed up and it's squished. So I'm going to do that. The other thing we've got is, I know that looking on, when we did the torso on this guy, we've got these connectors right here to go to this. And actually, I'm going to make connectors on his arms too, which I think look great. But we can also talk about, like, what do those connectors do? Do they come down like so? I mean, do we have just an extra black bar here that we can use? I mean, what's the story? So let's go ahead then and save as. And we're going to save this under here. And we're just going to save it in here as Marine Torso Service Uniform 1, and we're just going to call this limbs. I really don't want to spend forever on these uniforms. So we're just going to put that in there. And we're going to go in here, and now that we're working on this, let's go on ahead and fix his surfaces for this one. And this is feet, fingernails, hands, legs, shoulders, toenails. Just double checking everything here. Make sure, because forearms is also part of it, but hips is not. Okay, so I'm going to browse. We're going to just tap that limbs here and see what limbs looks like. All right. Okay, looking at what we've got now, seeing the way that this is aimed out, it looks like actually this heads in more over here, irrigatingly. So like we came up from here, but it looks like I need to be over by 2. And if we need more resolution on this, we can actually bring up our resolution in preferences. Let's make sure we can do that. Interface. It'll get there. There we go. So actually, we see where we have this kind of triangle here. That looks like that's a smack onto the line. So we just need to hit this triangle right through here is what we need to do, right through that, and then come down through the knee. And that's our core piece right there. Start of day 2. That's right. So that's, other than that, let's take a look at his foot. I like the fact that I put it for quality and it's not even slowing down. That's why I say I've got a pretty hot machine. Okay, so I'm not liking this guy needs to go through. I'm thinking this 1, 2, 3 for this 5 point right through here is where I need to come up. So let's go through here. That's this 5 point right here. And then come like so. That's how we fix these things. That's how he bailed out. No, how he hung in there. He was like a rock. Over Macho Grande. No, I don't think I'll ever get over Macho Grande. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want it right here is where we want to go out. There. And we can take this guy down too. And actually, to be fair, when... There we go. Just like that. All right. So that'll solve that problem. I actually don't seem to have much of a problem with the under part of the foot, although I could raise it up 2 and that'd be fine on this side. So like right through here. There we go. So looking at that, that's not so bad. Okay. And we'll go up here and let's look at that hand. Okay, looking at the arm, it does look like it's close to that seam on the front. Much more difficult. Kind of wish I had just Tom out here and not everybody. I could make that happen. Just turn off everybody else temporarily. Leaving Tom on. Why is Navin's hair staying on? Like, his hip doesn't need to be there either. And all the things that have stayed on with her, too. Oh, well. It's good enough that we can still see. I'm not going to mess with this. Okay. So we're going to take a look here. Looking at the elbow, I am seeing that coming in through here, I probably want to be more on like this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over is where I really want to be over here to the front. So 8 this way really is where I want to go through there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right through here. Damn it. 1, 2. Right through here. Then we can come back down to here, like so. We kind of want to do more like this. And there's a curve to, because this isn't the outside seams. Yep, that's exactly right, David. So the blue ones that were over here were the Navy. This is the Marines. So I'm making the Marine uniform now, which Brent and I have been working kind of on. There in a way, they're prep suits for the armor pieces that go on top of it. So the suits have armor on top that snap onto the top of it. So these are the suits you wear around the ship, which don't have, they're not pressure suits or anything like that. Or they are pressure suits. I'm sorry, they're space worthy, but they're not fighting worthy. So we finished the Navy suits. That's the blue suits you saw on the left there. And now we're working on the Marines. More importantly, though, once I've set the PJ, once I've set the this design up, I can do the Navy version for males too, because my male maps are not helping a lot on being helpful on its guidance and stuff. That said, I do think this is exactly where it should be. That point there. And it goes all the way under and around to the bottom. So I feel like also this guy could probably come forward just a hair and like come back around to this 4-pointer right here. So let's find that 4-pointer. That's this right here. So let's do that. And then up and over, more like that.
It's time to take a 2-minute break.
All my lights have changed, and that means it's time to take a break. So we're going to stand up. That means you too, David. You're going to stand up, take a break. Stretch. So, okay, everybody stand up. Oh my goodness. Goodness. And stretch. Ah, yeah. There we go. This is good for you to get up every hour and move around, stretch everything. Hey, David, check out my warp core. I have a warp core. Isn't that cool? It's really just those little cascade lights that you see on people's houses, but I designed them in a specific way to make it look like some kind of engine thing going. And I really like it. And it's cool. And if you look at it, all the wires, I've kind of made all the wires nested. And so it actually kind of looks a little like a bomb or something. And I'm worried that someday the bomb squad's going to try to come in here and, oh no, it's a bomb. And it really just is a bunch of Christmas lights. But it looks neat and it works cool. And right, it's got warp power. I just love warp power. So that's my warp core. And I actually have now rigged it so I can say, computer, turn off warp core. And then I can say, computer, turn on the warp core. Because, naturally I have to have that controlled by the controller up there because that makes total sense. Okay, back to the show. And of course, we still have the ability to oh man, Data does that all the time. I'm watching Star Trek and he'll say something and it will totally trigger my Alexa. And it's so funny. And I kind of feel like I want to come out here. So we're going to do the same thing here. You have to change the keyword? Why? Because I'm going to, you know, that in my opening credits, I do that all the time, right? Like, and so the new opening credits aren't going to be any different. That's like part and parcel of the show. So I'd still be triggering your Alexa every time. All right. So looking at kind of where we are on the seams on this, I brought this forward seam down so that it just comes along from here, along the front and to the back. Because that goes to here on the shoulder. Is what we kind of want anyway. Okay, so hey Brent, Marines have line officers on the line, and then unrestricted line, same thing as they do in the Navy. And if so, should we have the same color setup? Would you? I mean, because they would be the same color codes, but I'm kind of wondering whether we should have, you know, like a light something that indicates these guys are different. You know, line command officers, and then the non-command unrestricted, and then the restricted duty, and then your mission specialists, which I think in the Marines tone would be a very different critter. A mission specialist would be a sniper or a demolitions expert. Ooh, that's not straight in this line either. Look at that. So straight down what looks like here would be this way. That's still going off to the side here. So like between here and here. That's this line. So that's where we are. And I think that gives us the straight line through here, like that, to the middle between these two knuckles. I feel like that's too close, so it's not enough thumb that's outside of the connector unit. So I'm going to put it back. We can see the knuckle here, 1, 2, 3 over the knuckle. So let's go, once it goes into this round part for the knuckle, right here, round part for the knuckle, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 up and over like so. And that's what we're really going to have right through here. We're not going to do this guy because it's too much over the thumb. And I think that this will be great for, I mean, I like the idea that there's like a semi-protective glove unit, because then all you have to do is radially protect the fingers and the thumb when you have, you know, with force fields or whatever, and they can put gloves on and snap the gloves on or whatever, and maybe they keep their gloves in their little pocket. I don't know. In fact, that's probably what it is. They probably have pressure tight gloves. When decompression happens, a force field goes around your entire hand, which makes you have, you know, horrible abilities to do stuff. And the only way to turn it off is to pull your glove out and put the glove on and snap it in, and then the force field turns off as soon as the glove's put on. And then you've got the ability to use your fingers with gloves. And probably that's what's really happening. And the gloves don't give you as much flexibility, because you want to be able to, operating on a ship, you want to be able to, work the little doodly wops, they're little teeny things. So, all right. I am going to answer for Brent at the moment here and just assume that we have officers of the line. But I also want the safety colors to be on as well. So we're going to do this number down the line here so that we can rescue our Marines if they get blown out an airlock. There we go. Like so. You know what? You're right. So you're just watching me like, okay, there we go. Bork. There we go. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot, actually, because that is kind of silly of me. Well, there we go. Okay, so I've gone through here since I wasn't broadcasting. Gone through, and what I've done is I've straightened out this line, which didn't go between the two knuckles like it should have. Instead, it went off to this knuckle. So I fixed that. And I've corrected the thumb, which I really feel like should go over this joint to stay away from the hand. And then now what I'm doing is giving a double line to the front here, because that's the safety line. That's that orange line that you see on the Navy uniforms. That with the Marine uniforms, they can tap a controller on their pad and those orange lines immediately turn black. But they're orange during normal operations so that they can be rescued in space as well, in case they get Mae Wested. A Mae West situation in space is markedly more terrifying. Also, we need to make sure that we have a subdued version of the Saturn for them, so that this is easy, because we'll just end up with them with just the subdued version. Only problem is I kind of feel like it needs to be aligned this way. One of the cool things, David, about using the maquettes, and I was talking about this yesterday, is that I can put as much detail into this uniform as I want. And since I'm working over the maquettes, I won't forget detail bits. Like, if you've got like a character design sheet and you're hanging it up on your wall over here and you're drawing your character, and this is shot number 50, and you've drawn this character 50 times throughout 5 pages of comic or whatever, or let's say 100 pages of comic, and you've drawn them 50 times, somewhere you're going to forget that little dot right here, or you're going to forget that there's a square right here on the uniform or something. And I see that a lot in Star Trek comics. They'll forget some aspect of the uniform and it stands out like a sore thumb, and it's so rough. And I'm like, ugh. And I hate that. So, but with this, it's not going to be that way. It's kind of cool. Okay, so I think with subdued, we're going to invert it. So I'm going to take and put the white on the inside like this. And then I'm going to transform, and I'm going to tonal correction, reverse gradient it like that, because I feel like that's more accurate. Because it'll be blue on the inside and black on the it'll be an inverted, right? He's missing his whole backpack. Like, that totally has happened. Every time I see a comic, I'll be like, this guy's like missing everything, you know? So that's kind of why I'm like, I really love using the maquettes, because then I can get down to a very fine detail on these uniforms and still continue to put them in every time without messing it up. And as somebody who has ADD, I mess this up a lot. That's not what I want. That's the red button to indicate that the suit is active and operating like it's supposed to. Those little red triangles you'll see on the suit everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna export this guy here in a second. Just double check to make sure everything is good. I got this little section right here, which you can see did not infect. Waiting for Brian to come back from lunch. I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow I'll have Pepper on. I had the weirdest dream with Pepper last night. It was so funny. Pepper and Bill. And I was like, I was staying at their place, and for whatever reason, I don't even know, they were trying to find like a bed to put me on the floor. In like, they didn't have a bed for that. So they were looking around, and Bill goes out and buys this bed, and Pepper's like, we've already got an inflatable bed. So they were mad at each other for it. And I was like, it's okay, guys. It's fine. It's all right. I'm all right. It's very funny. It's a weird dream. Nope. That's not what I want to do. I want to decide whether I want to do that or not. I don't think so. I think I like this better. So anyway, let's give this this is the next iteration. So we're going to try to give this a shot over here. And we're going to come over here. We're going to select him. So you've forgotten. Okay, that's fine. Feet, fingernails, forearms, hands, legs, shoulders, toenails, and that's it. Okay, browse. And we will hit 2 and see what happens. There you go. Nice corrections. Okay. So the thing I can see already is I feel like that Unity patch is way too large. However, this looks like this is coming in the right line. these guys are probably way too large as well. I could probably bring that into 2 and then bring up this side. That's what I think I'm going to do. But this contact is correct. I also need to remember that there's no this part of it's going to be covered by the flares that everybody gets in their uniforms. So take a look at his legs and make sure the leg is correct now. That line is going straight, just the way it's supposed to. Good job. Good job. That looks good. That looks bad. We need to go forward on this side, but that's okay. We'll fix this one next. So it's the next line down and over. So let's go down to the foot here. It's this guy down, which actually kind of makes sense. It's there. Nope. It's here. And this kind of comes down right at the edge of this. So this is the front of that. So right at the edge of it. It's like right here. There. Like so. And this is that middle line right through the back, right? So this is the front. This is that middle line right through the back because there's that calf. It's a huge calf muscle right there. So straight down to here is the pressure suit line. Right? That tells us the pressure suit's working on the leg, and the gravity boots are working. Well, I guess I should say the mag boots because they're not gravity boots. Since I do have gravity control in this story, it is kind of important to indicate that. So and then felt like this needed to be brought back. Like it could be much smaller. Like here. And we'll turn off the Saturn for right now. We'll kind of come from here. There. Come around this corner like so. They would, but I feel like you'd end up with a sort of this issue where they're gravity, and so people are sucked to your boots and stuff. Bullets keep aiming down for your boots. Things like that. I feel like that would be kind of a moment. You'd be like, eh. But other than that, I think we are right at the level of getting this correct. And I feel kind of like if we look at the marine torso sides here, right, and we bring up, let's bring up the original, let's bring up the original setup for this guy. We're going to take this all and copy and bring it over on top of this paste. And then let's do something really weird like tonal correction, reverse gradient. And that gives us a white on black. And then we could go overlay. No, screen. That's the one we want. Screen. Okay. Looking here, kind of like this guy here. If we look at this, the original sort of grid for this, I'm coming down here, coming out here, and heading down into the leg over here. Now let's take, open, go to the maquettes, go to the Daz templates, original templates, and open the female version of this. We get these connectors down here, which I'm actually going to try to snag like so. And we're going to copy just those connectors and put them on here, paste. But I think I can actually get these guys to fit. No, this isn't the one I wanted. No, not the one. This is the one I want. But here, do the same thing. Except this time I think I'm going to just, do I want to actually reverse gradient this because that'll change all of our colors? Probably not. So we'll just go ahead and just do this. Let's go for multiply. Never mind. Think I was being clever and I'm not. So instead we'll do something like this. Okay. And take each one of these and we'll just zoom in here. And this should give us at least a rough idea of where everything is coming in and out of the other side. Right? They're not exactly aligned, but it's better than nothing. Give me some idea when we transit between the two as to where we're transiting in and out of, right? So grab this side and do the same thing. Transform, free transform, free transform. I'll put this guy right here. I'll go like so. There we go. Okay. I really think I should just color code these things and just do it. Because I'm never going to get this straight otherwise. And I'm going to end up in and out of this in the wrong codes. And I can already tell that I'm just going to hit the wrong places and hate life a lot. So let's go ahead and bring this up in color. And we'll just move this up like so. And then I'll just take you, and I'll delete. Still waiting for Brian to come back. Delete. All right. So we're going to be here. And what we're going to do is we're going to deselect. We're going to take this guy. We're going to go here. We're going to do that and that. I'm going to hit here and do this and this. And here, and we count 1, 2, 3, and these guys will be 3. We count 1, 2, 3. Right? Then we'll hit this guy, and it's the same thing. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And this one's 1, 2, and the 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, and it's 1, 2, 3. And then these guys skip 1, 2, 3. And these guys, this is interesting because this is where it catches right back up. Right? Skip 1, 2, 3, whatever. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2, 1, 2, 3. And it's going to tighten back up again. Interesting. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2. Skip 2. I'm just going to go ahead and put all these colors in. Find it very interesting. Oh, I find that even more interesting. There's actually one fewer of these in here, and I'll bet you it's this guy. Oh no, I screwed up. That's why. There we go. That's where I screwed up. Skip 2, 2, 3. Skip 2, and then that's a light gray, and that's a dark gray. Skip 2, and we have red, red, red. Skip 3, and we have light gray. Interesting. Fascinating. And that's why 1, 2, 3. Boy, I got to give props to... And now I don't have to have this anymore. Really didn't need to do the other side, but you know, it's a thing. So if we go over to the marine limbs, we now have this guy up here, which can tell us a little bit more about what's going on and where it will connect. And we'll just do the same thing we just did right here, because these colors now match, right? So if we're on here, which is, this is the one that's got the color codes on it. We say U and go like that. We deselect. Did you do it? There we go. We didn't. We just didn't have it. Skip 2, 2, 3. Skip 2, 1, 2, 3. This is hard because it's hard to see. Skip 2, 1, 2, 3. Actually, this is complicated enough that I think what I'm going to do is move this down, because that's getting just complicated enough that I'm having a real hard time seeing it. And I don't want to mess this up. So skip 2, 1, 2, 3. Skip 3 and red. And I don't remember that red, but okay. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 2 and that. Okay. Now we can pretty much turn that guy off. Whew. That was brutal. Okay. But now we know if we exit out on one of these colors, we're going to exit, or we're going to enter in on one of these colors and the same colors, and they match. So, knowing that, this is the front, so this is where that's entering in, is on this light blue, right in the middle of this light blue, which puts us right here. So it's on the third of the light blue is where that comes in. So this guy right here. So if I want to connect anything here, we're going to have to go outward like so, which I'm not opposed to. And that will take this line and connect it now to the leg. And that goes here. So let's look at the outer or the outside edge. Where's the outside edge of this? Looks like this guy stops it pretty much right at the edge of the leg. Which I feel like starts here and then crosses. So let's take a look. The torso piece stops at pink. So this pink part is like right in the middle. So that's the middle. And it stops there. And I actually feel like it kind of wants to be right there to start. So we're going to start right here. And this is the outside edge line. So this would be the stripe line if you were to do this with your marine pants. And that's going to go right between, so directly to the center, I think. I feel like. Because this is back. This is the direct back. This is the side. So right about the middle would be right about there. This line kind of does this number. It's a dark blue. I'm like, that line looks awful blue. There we go. So this should be our hazard color line, the warning line, if you will. There. So that's the emergency line that you guys can turn off if you need to, but most of the time they just glow orange like everything else. And I will we wanted to shrink down the Saturn just a hair. Because that patch was just a little too obnoxious. There. So we'll save this, save as. We're still in this color code. We're not seeing Brian yet. And we will browse and grab 3. Take a look at the legs. There we go. And that leg looks pretty accurately straight. And the foot is mostly correct now. Not quite correct. It's off by 1 again. I don't know why, and I don't get it, but okay. I also don't get why I'm getting stress on the mesh back here, but not in the front. But I'm getting stress in the mesh on this side. I don't get that. But that's okay. So we'll put it forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 forward. And we'll go down 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4 forward. And down. And we're on the wrong layer. Layer check. That's good. You're going to lose spot of it, guy. Don't do that. We don't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, like so. Coming out there and going down there like so. Dangerous gases expelled from here. Right? Warning, dangerous gases. Heavy methane. David and I are so 12. We are so 12. I'm actually kind of feeling also like maybe this is dead center here for this. So we'll pull, and it's just a minor thing, but since I'm already here, might as well do that. And that makes kind of this guy feel a little bit more to the left. So maybe right here. I guess we needed to layer check before. I won't name any names, but it's me. Did you draw that directly on the template? You did. Boy, you're dumb sometimes. You might be 11. Yeah. There we go. So what has happened is I didn't do my layer check and instead managed to draw this directly on the underlying base. So we're going to have to tinker with that in a bit. That's okay. The reason I duplicated this layer. All right. If I turn this on and I turn the multiply off, let's see what we got. Union Saturn should be on multiply. No, that's not going to be on multiply because that's not going to work. So we're going to put it on normal. We're going to go onto the Union Saturn's part here. We're going to just color this in like that. It's a subdued. It's below a dude. Still think that's a funny joke. So we're going to do that. I'm actually going to set the close gap much higher. Undo, color margin. Bring that up. So we're trying to get rid of the white that's on here, right? Layer check again. Bring that all the way up. That's probably the best we're going to get. And see, now it actually sees differentiation in the white, but it's still not getting to the edge, which I'm not kind of aggravated about. So it's because the anti-aliasing is the problem. Like it needs more aliasing. Oh, well. Well, I just won't mess with it right now. That's kind of a bummer, but that's all right. Okay. Now that we're here, let's duplicate the layer and we'll seal up the lines on here. And let's bring in that orange so we can take a look at what we've got going on. So, hey, Brent, I was asking earlier if you thought that we could have sort of the similar concepts with the Marines that we do with the Navy about having line officers, unrestricted duty or restricted duty officers, then mission specialists, and then corpsmen. So our 4 colors, so that they'd be similar. What do you think? You think that'd be a thing we could do that would make sense? Yeah. That. And that. And that. There we go. Let's take a look at that now. And we should have colors like we're supposed to. We'll save as. Call this 4. Takes about 6 iterations, I think, before we're ready to go. And I'm kind of getting pretty happy with this since this is the first time we've ever seen this uniform. So that's actually pretty cool. Sure. There we go. So we've got, there we go. Kind of looks cool. So there's that. So we'll have to, I'm liking this so far. I actually like where our Marines look as far as this outfit. Although, boy. Right. But I mean, our Marines are still going to have staff members, staff officers, people who file documents. But I'm kind of wondering if I can't kind of get that same thing. And I would definitely put it'd be very subdued. So like your line officer would just have a little bit of that light blue, like right here on the wrist on both sides. The non-line officer then would be purple here and here. The, your specialist would be that green, that light green, but only right there on the wrists. That's what I'm thinking. I'm also thinking that I think that looks great. I think that line is perfect. I think the orange line actually kind of makes it look extra cool. So let's go on ahead and give them first of all, let's call that good and say this is a viable outfit. So we're going to take this and we're going to duplicate the layer, turn off this temporarily. I'm going to take this guy and not that. Really? We don't need you anymore. Do not save. We actually don't need you either. Do not save. We don't need you either. Do not save. We'll keep you for a moment because we're not done. Because I'm looking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking was that I know that generally the uniforms do not differ in service, but we're talking about, the future. It's the future. So what we'll do here is we'll transform, we'll flip it horizontal, and then we'll take you and we'll rotate you like so, and we'll place you right on this line. Actually, I'm going to cut. Then cut, paste. Well, you're on your own level here. And we can move you as we need. To align you like so. Good. Alignment solid. All these like that. Okay. And here we have just this guy left, right? Yep. So he's going to just be flipped. He doesn't have to be rotated or anything. Transform, flip horizontal. You should just snap right into place. Or, not. How are they different? How are the feet different? How is this happening? Guys, this is a computer thing. Okay. Through that point. Right there. That's what we want. And then down, up, over. They shouldn't be any different. Probably true. But you'd still have your one. We still have Arbo, who's the Marine leader. He's the detachment's command officer. So he'd be in the light blue. We'd have a corpsman who'd be in white. And we might have, it's a fire team. So you'd have a specialist, a sniper of some sort or something like that, and a demolitions expert maybe. So they'd be in green. But you're right. I don't think there'd be, if you kind of use the same logic that we're using, because we're reorganizing everything. So you have 4 classes of uniform. You have mission specialist, which is specializing in something, which would be the sciences in Star Trek. But would also be, your sniper or demolitions expert. Well, wouldn't they show rank though? Wouldn't they actually have the stripes for rank? It's definitely something to think about, is whether. So there's where I defer to your expertise. Is there a reason we don't want the Marine commander to be easily identified? And that's important on the Marine side. I've been noticing, say, for the Army side, that we've gotten more and more trying to get all of them into the same uniform, up to and including, when they get the pins right here, they're trying to subdue them more so that it's less and less clear, because I know snipers want to take out the commander, right? That's kind of a thing, right? The snipers go for the commander. And if you have, if you're standing there in a different uniform with flashy gold bars on your shoulder, you're obviously the leader of this division. And if they take you out, then that becomes an issue. So I know that that's kind of the concept we're going for. So I'm kind of wondering, though, let's think about this from a different perspective. Is that going to be significant at all when we're dealing with military on or space military? Where, well, I guess you would, because these are the ground forces, so it would be a thing. Things that make you go, a lot of these things are making me go, because that's a good, solid point. I mean, okay, we've placed all of those in. And now we're going to do this. But I'm going to go to multiply real quick because we got to kind of fish out the fingers. I'm going to be on this layer. I'll just call it white for right now. We're just going to come along here. Because fingers need to be whatever flesh color we're using for the character. So we'll come in here in a minute and clean that up. But for right now, they can be white. Yeah. Well, that was what I was thinking was, I mean, the point behind medics being a different color is so that they're easy to spot. And, Geneva Convention. I mean, you don't shoot medics. And so you want to make sure that they are clearly marked so that they don't get shot. And I get that. But also on the same token of this, where we are talking about, say, the situation where, you have multiple armies in the same spot, also more of a peacetime stance, because this is Star Trekian, where it's a peacetime stance, and less of a combat stance. Kind of wondering whether there is a need to make it somewhat clearer your commanding officer and who your commanding officer is, or your specialists. This is sort of a debatey thing that I'm kind of pondering, especially on board a ship. Yep, the Japanese during World War II, all into that, taking out the medics. Boy, they were brutal folk. So sad. They're good people now. They're awesome now. And kind of always sort of see, well, I definitely, I mean, it's like everything. War changes everybody, and never for the good. Okay. So just making sure that I've got this cleaned up right through here. And back and around, up like so. And we're just cleaning up the rough line there. Oh, undo that. Space. Don't click the wrong button. Space. There we go. All right. Well, and so there is sort of what I'm kind of pondering on this. Okay, and I think we are... I actually think I'm going to make this bottom piece here black on the feet, and then we will call this good. So we're going to do this. Actually, we're going to go back into multiply so I can see what we're doing here. We're just going to make all of this black. All through here, just this whole 9 yards. It's all just going to go black. Work. And that'll be fine. Nope. You can, when it takes a second, you're like, that didn't go well. And go through and go up and over and around. Just trace this out. Come back in, clean that up, trace this out. Go out like that. There. All black. Really? Okay. We'll come back in and snap it in a second. Come around all the way through here. All the way up here and all the way back there. That's all going to be black. Because I'm just about to make that all one thing. I'm going to take those off right there. And go up to normal. And then we're going to hit Control, Shift, and E. And then I'll make all this one unit. And I'll go through here and do that. Why are you still having a problem? Oh, because the black and the blue are very, very close in color margin. And so we need to drop that down and close the gap. And that makes it a whole lot better. That's the problem. There. Just like that. And we still need to deal with multiply toenails, which is up here. These are the toenails. So we're just going to take these because we don't want them to show up in the render. It'll look weird. Make everybody uncomfortable. So they're part of the shoes. Now we're going to do this. There. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay. Now, I think this is the final version of this. I'll turn that off. I'm going to call that the final version for the Marine Limbs Male. I'm going to save as, and I've got a different name once it's ready to go. Because this torso went to 5, so we're going to say Male Marine Limbs. Well, and that's the thing. When the military was in charge, it was a different world. When we're talking about here, we're talking about the same kind of problem, right? Like at this point in time, did you not do the right one? Maybe not. Service Uniform 5, no. This is the one. There we go. Now we're going to have to fix his fingernails too. But that looks good. And it looks like the toenails and the fingernails are inverted. Dang it. I mean, not like that's a major problem. I can always just, I'm going to be drawing around these guys, so I don't really need to make them exact. I like it too. I'm not sure why we're getting this over here, except that I think that I got into the toenails too much. I think maybe I did that wrong, so we'll just have to go back and check. I think that's what happened here. So we will. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so I believed the female side of this and not the male side of this, and I shouldn't have done that. So, because these are the toenails. I figured they were a little too close. Right? And we'll take you and we'll do this. There. And that way I don't have to worry about it anymore. Take this off of multiply. There we go. And this is all going to be skin colored, whatever your skin color is, because every character has a different skin color, of course, as it should be. You'd wear it as cosplay. There we go. Well, we still got to put in the stats, the pockets, things like that, but that shouldn't take but a few more minutes. I may do that this afternoon before we get in there because I really kind of want to finish these uniforms up this week. And tomorrow I probably will have everybody on the show like we're supposed to have. So hopefully we will have Pepper. Maybe Colton. Maybe Colton will be here. Who knows? I may actually get Brian back. No, he works tomorrow, so there's no way of doing that. I don't think I'll get Brian. But I can also get Colton and Pepper. I think that'd be good. We start doing pages soon, but we have to finish script first. And I don't write well with my kid and my wife here because they keep coming in and asking me questions and disrupting my train of thought. And they don't mean to. It's not like they're intentionally doing that. But it is still something that is kind of, let me turn that off, that is sort of a thing that occurs. So I've only been able to write since this week, since it's been, since school started, which started yesterday. So I had today and yesterday, and that's all I've had so far to write. And that's the first time that I've actually settled in on my plot was when we did Brent Pages. Brent Pages. So this is the first time I've been settled in on what my plot is on this first script. So right. And I've thought about that, but it's cramped in my car to type and stuff. Recently, though, I have learned that I can turn on a lecture mode on my phone and just talk into it like this. Not like that, because that would be weird. But I can talk into my phone, which helps a whole lot. So we're going to do that. Yep, I just dictate straight into it. The thing that we need to do is a few things that just a couple of more housekeeping things, and I can start writing it up. But we've got Marine uniforms now. We've got Navy uniforms. We don't need to worry about much else on this. So I'm actually pretty happy with where we stand on these things. So we'll be good. So, okay. Well, thanks for joining me, David. Thanks for joining me, Brent. Donald, I saw you here for a while. I hope you're still there. I hope you're okay. I hope everybody's healthy and whatever. And I will see you all tomorrow. And until then, remember, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.